Hello, welcome to another episode of That's a Wrap, your go-to podcast for everything film and television production from an independent perspective. Ooh, I'm your host, Annette.
And I'm Naomi, and we have a good talk today.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
So today we're going to dive into a topic that some may have dealt with, or maybe some may have trouble talking about, and that is the art of letting go.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not talking about the song. I'm talking about stepping away from a production,
Oh,
especially after you've invested time, energy, resources, whatever. But just walking away or knowing when to walk away
yeah.
if things just don't pan out.
I mean, in this business, if you haven't had to go through letting go, you, my dear, are a unicorn. Because it can be a tough pill to swallow.
It is a tough pill to swallow.
And just the mental aspect of it and dealing with that. And struggle to talk about yeah. I lost my place.
I love the authenticity of this. But yeah, so we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that.
But first,
who be talking?
We be talking.
Who be talking?
We be talking.
We be talking.
So this is what we're going to talk about real quick. The Atlantic had an article about how WGA sent this scathing letter to studio heads about how big tech has essentially looted thousands. I think it was 53,000 movies and 85,000 TV episodes.
Wow.
That big tech is allowing their AIs to learn from, to writing scripts, right? So basically, big tech has free access to all of these scripts written by probably union, WGA union folks, and
they didn't pay them.
They did. Oh no, and of course WGA is saying this goes against the contract that they have,
right?
Because now, who's to stop studios? From allowing AI to write that first version of whatever movie they want to make, and then utilizing human capital to make it more human sounding. It's crazy.
So
that's
everything,
intellectual property.
It's intellectual property, but everything that was in the dark is coming into light.
Truly.
We all knew that this is the bottom line and this is where they wanted to go.
Yep. Any way that they can make it easier for them.
It's not even easier. Cheaper. Because they don't want the fact that I'm not even against them getting AI to go through those scripts. Had they paid the people that wrote those scripts. Right. Whatever TV show from the 1950s or a movie from 1978. But to compensate those people that wrote that put in that time, and then take that, I can see that.
Yeah.
But they're looting, they're stealing.
I guess.
And they used the term looting, or you used the term
No.
looting?
It was in the article that's what WGA wrote in that letter, that they were looting. Now, big tech could just very well say, well, a lot of these scripts are just out there.
Yes. Yep.
Right? So it's not like they had to go through the WGA library to download the, right?
Yeah.
They were just able to go out on the
internet, because that's where where we get our to read scripts, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I'm not in any way ever going to advocate for the devil.
No.
But I'm just saying, I think that is what they're going to say. It's like, well, it's free access. If it's out there, then we should be able to use it to teach our AIs, right?
Right.
So I think this is one of the reasons why that strike had to happen. And we're seeing even so, even with whatever agreement that they made, they're gonna have these kinds of loopholes.
Oh, completely.
To allow studios,
because this is uncharted area.
It is,
right?
It is.
And it's like the thing where you don't know what questions to ask until they come looting the scripts.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we knew that this was going to happen. That they want things cheaper, so they're going to bring AI in. But they know that AI can't write humans.
Not yet.
They won't ever be able to take away. They won't ever be able to give it that human aspect because AI is a robot, right?
So was Skynet.
Who?
Skynet.
What is that?
Terminator. Oh, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
machines will make machines that could feel. But I'm going off topic.
Anyway,
but I get you.
Safe to say, it ain't never going to go back. Like,
no.
That strike, it's still off.
Yeah.
From the jobs that are out there for freelancers, to like stuff like this.
Yeah.
It is absolutely crazy, and this is why it is so imperative that indies begin to create their own create their own lane.
You have to.
So, good discussion, great topic,
Good
and
Lord.
just something that we just need to.
Who knows what's coming?
We just need to watch.
Who knows what's coming?
So,
all right.
So you know what? We're gonna take a break, and we'll be back.
We're back.
We are back.
Okay, so let's jump in on this.
Remember that from Martin? Did you miss me?
So we're going to jump right into this topic.
I can't. It was Tommy Davison's character. Remember? Did you miss me?
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. Letting go.
Flashback. Okay, so letting go, right? Walking away. Our story. Of saying deuces, right? Okay, so we're working on We Are Born Free.
Yeah.
Documentary. Went to Morocco to film.
Yeah,
went to Texas.
It was glorious.
It was a time. It was a time, and we had these deadlines, and we were hitting them, but there just came a point where the funding didn't come through. And we were kind of just left out there.
Right.
And I don't think you and I never had the discussion of stopping. Because
didn't.
You were in it.
Yeah.
Deep. Because here I am holding with the full-time gig.
Right.
And you were doing this full time.
Yeah,
for
I was pretty working. I was working about maybe 15, 17-hour days.
Yeah.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Managing.
Yeah.
So here we are on this production, and I think by the time it hit April, so I know we were trying to get into a festival in the summer, and we had this deadline, this hard stop in the first week of May, and I think by the time, it was like 2 weeks maybe before, we both knew that this documentary was not going to go forward.
Yeah, the project was going to have to come to a halt.
But I was done.
Right.
Mentally.
Oh, yeah.
Physically, emotionally.
No. Yeah. No,
financially, the whole thing. Like I was done.
Right.
And I just shut it down. And I think you were still working on stuff, and we would meet, and you were like, hey, we need to go through the interviews and, at least continue to finish our part, right? Whatever we can do. And I was just like, sounds good. And did I?
That's exactly what she was like. Yeah, sounds good. As I write this down, closing my book. But I think that, so letting go is not just stopping.
No. It's a process.
It's a process because it's mentally.
Yeah.
It's mental, right? I really wanted this project to be completed because it was like my first feature, right? Documentary.
Yeah.
Like it was my first feature film.
Yeah.
So I had things invested. We had money and time, and we had a crew.
Yeah.
And they worked really hard. And for me, it was like, if I just do one more thing, maybe by the time I finish this, the funds will be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if I fill out for this particular grant.
It's that process of like, if I continue to stay in it and work, right? Then the hope is that things will just, will come through, right? Everything will work out. And to have to kind of swallow that,
it's not.
I have to stop because I don't have anything else to give at this point. Yeah. And we're seeing, the funding part, the silence that came from that end, where we were just like,
it was deafening. It was deafening.
And so we were just, for me, I had to just go, okay. Yeah. It's a hit, and it's a huge hit. Right. It's a loss. Right. And you had to give ourselves time to literally go through a grieving process.
It was a grieving process. Yeah. And sometimes, if you're working on a show or something like that, like I didn't realize that I was grieving until my practitioner was just like, you do realize you're going through the grieving process. Yeah. And I'm like, it's a project, but something died. Yes. And then I thought it was really good for you and I, right? Because here we are, partners. You had to go, I had to give you the space to say, okay, I'm not doing this. Yep. But I wasn't ready. So I had to be okay with your decision. Right. Knowing that I was still going to do my work and not be angry with your decision and hoping for the same reciprocation. Right. Because I wasn't there yet. Yeah. But then when I did get there, I couldn't. It was like, I don't want to look at anything of this. I did not want to see their face. I did not want anything of them. I even silenced them on social media. Yes. I mean, it was just,
that's part of the process.
Yeah. I just needed my space, right? Until I could get to the point to say, all right, shit happens. Like we have to move on. Yeah. And what was it that I learned from this particular thing so that I won't make the same mistake? Right. Because, gonna be honest, there is no production, no project where things don't go left. Yeah. Because production is never linear. I don't care how many months of prep you have. It is literally like this. Yeah. But it's how well do you rebound? And I think that we did a really good job because once we went through that process, it is what's next for us. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's not being stuck. Yeah. So, Bruce Lee says, fall down 7, get back up 8. That's literally what we were. And we're like water, like. So I'm thankful for meditation. I'm thankful for prayer. I'm thankful for my practitioner and all of that stuff. Yeah.
No, it was, I know you've known me long enough. Like when I'm done with something.
Oh, your energy is like,
I'm done. Yeah. But even in making that decision, it still was hard to swallow.
Oh yeah.
The disappointment.
Oh my God.
Right? So for me, I tend to go quiet. Yeah. And just kind of like disconnect. Yeah. Because I'm just like,
You need to figure stuff out. Yeah.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
This was crazy.
And it's embarrassing. You know, I felt embarrassed. Sorry, I hit my mic. I felt embarrassed.
Right.
Because bringing this on, but it's not, I had to let all of that go because it wasn't about me. That was that ego. Right. But
I think when you were talking about embarrassed, it's because you're sharing this with people. We had crew who was looking forward to seeing this, like their work come through, right? And so to just kind of be like, we're not moving forward with this.
Yeah.
It's a disappointment for everyone involved. But that is something that you and I had to learn. Like, we can't carry all of that, right?
Yeah.
We have our own grief to deal with. Yeah. But they're just, I wanted to just quickly mention these 3 steps that you and I definitely experienced, right?
Definitely.
And maybe those listening can find, if you have gone through this may resonate with you as well. Assess. So it was the assessment phase of what's going on here. Like, what are we
getting
doing?
real? Yeah, putting it on the table. Yeah.
We were in the thick of it because the stress of the work.
Right.
Finances.
I think that even though we were in the thick of it, I remember a couple of conversations where you and I got real and you were like, the money ain't coming net. And I was just like, yeah.
It was like, girl, I don't know. I really don't, I don't see it. But like, I just remember being in that because we were just so hyped about this project. And then but the stress factor was so high. And for me, I was thinking, why is it this high? Like, why is it this high? Is it anything that you and I were doing? Not really. They were just, external circumstances. I think a lot of the time.
But also, you also had a 9 to 5. So for me, I didn't feel that it was extra stressful.
Okay.
That was a normal production.
Okay.
Right? Because the crew is limited, right? So for me, it was a normal stress load.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe that's why I felt it a little bit stronger. At least I felt the stress part.
Yes.
From my end.
Right.
So, and then after assessing is the processing, and we were in the thick of it with processing because we're every day it was conversations of. We didn't realize it at the time, but we were processing like, what's next? What do we need to do? What's happening, right? I noticed that debt became a thing. Just kind of, I felt the excitement dwindling because we weren't able to move forward. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
We were kind of stifled.
Yeah.
And then I think for you, burnout after a while because you were going hard.
Complete. It took me 2 weeks to literally come out of that stress. Yeah. To let that go.
And then finally is the decision part.
Yep.
Right?
When you make a decision and you roll with it.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. And that's where we were. A decision was made separately, but a decision was made. And then we both of us went through the process of grieving this project.
Yeah, I had to let it go. Yep, I had to open up my hand and be like, okay.
Creator, take the wheel because
I have to be okay if this doesn't go. If it doesn't go forward, if it doesn't, I have to be okay with it. And then once I made that decision, that's what happened.
Yeah, and just like in life, we are going to experience many moments of things not going our way. We work on something and it just falls apart. Or for whatever reason, we're not able to see it to the end.
Yeah.
This is all, we were dealing with a production, but this is life. It really
production is all about life, right? It really is.
Just like high school prepared you for life.
Yeah.
Because it really was very much like high school to me is the corporate world.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they
It's literally built around.
That's what school is about. It's like indoctrination. So, yeah.
But yeah. So, I would just say to anyone listening, if you go through these different parts of a production, and if you're leading it, if you're in it, and you're seeing things are just not moving along, or there's stalemate somewhere, or whatever the issue is, I think assessing, processing, and then deciding, those three parts will come to fruition. I think whether you want it to or not.
Listen, and I really I like that. I like that: assess, process, and decide. But yeah, and it's just make that decision and then go with it. Because if a project goes left, it's going to go left, whether you assess, process, and decide. So,
and finally, let me just say, sometimes, as you and I both know, when things like this happen, it may not just, it wasn't meant for us at that time. Or it just, maybe going through this was the lesson.
Completely.
And that then opens, and potentially when you walk away from something, it opens the door for something else.
And whatever that is, right? Because this opened us up to the artist way. Right? Like,
child.
That is actually it. And I made this connection like right now. Wow.
So we're going to talk about the artist way in another episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh, wow.
We were, yeah. I'm looking forward to that discussion.
All right. So we're going to take a break. This is a good conversation. Assess, process, and decide. So we'll be back in a bit. That was a great segment.
Yeah, girl.
Really good. So to sum up what we were talking about, like, it is assess, process, and decide. That approach, I think that's really good.
Yeah.
So to prevent you from jumping off the ledge that some productions really, when they go absolutely left, will make you do, right?
You ain't trying to go ham on some DP.
Right.
Like, and he's just like, it ain't me, hun.
Yeah. It ain't me. And make your decision and be done with it. Yeah. So
learn to live with it.
Learn to live with it. So, well,
that's it.
I think that's it. So I guess like and subscribe.
Oh yes.
So you know what's what, and hit that notification button. So when we upload new episodes and other posts.
And honestly, I would love for you guys to hit us up in the comments about your experience.
Yeah, most definitely.
Letting go. Whether it's a production
or life in general. Or letting go of that man, that woman, that significant other.
Them kids.
Job.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let us know how you deal with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's keep that conversation going.
Yes. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay. I think that's it.
Are we really ending this episode?
I think so.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap. See you next time.